Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled, Should One Make a Bracha on Water During a Meal? Sounds like a crazy question. Motzi covers everything. So it's true we learned yesterday that Motzi covers those things which are part of the Malafin and Sapas, things that come along with the bread. And benching covers the Suda. So there's a difference between Motzi and Suda. Fine, but this is certainly food that comes along with the bread. What's the question about? Well, guess what? In our daf, in Mem Bet Amud Aleph, the Tosfos could carry over from Mem Aleph and Bet and Brachot, talks about different opinions and says that wine was a drink that came along with the meal back in the day in the Talmudic times. And wine really should be covered by bread, but it's so chashuv and important, so we make a bracha bar bigafen on wine during the meal. But water doesn't even come along with the meal, not in those days. And maybe you should make a bracha Shehakol. It's not really considered part of the bread meal. And you say Shehakol. The Master Vidri goes a step further. He says every time you take a drink of water during the meal, you make another Shehakol. Because it was so odd to have water during the meal that if you had the bracha Shehakol once in the water, you probably didn't think you're going to have another bracha, another drink, and therefore you have to make a new bracha because it's like nimlach, you didn't even think about it. You didn't have in mind each cup of water. It was so rare. So it's wild. But what's wild is these are not just obscure opinions in the Rishonim, in the Master Vitri. It made its way to the Shulchan Aruch, Kuf Ayin Zayin, in Orach Chaim Sif Zayin, Kuf Ayin Dalet Zayin, where it says that water's covered, but some say you should make a bracha on the water. And some say make a bracha on water every time like a Master Vitri. And if you want to try to be stringent, have a little shehakol before the meal and to cover the water during the meal. Wow, the Ramah finished a Rishon, and we're not really makpid like this. So really, a lot has to do with the drinking habits of the times. Is the water something which comes along with the meal or not? And there's different opinions. Some say, wait, now we drink water freely. Water has become the number one beverage. More than all the other drinks. It's a different society than thousands of years ago. And now you really drink because you want to drink it. And if you're thirsty before the meal, then you want the water for itself, not just because it comes along with the bread. So it turns out, the Magen Avraham, the Arizal, the Kaf HaChaim, all bring down this opinion that it would be meritorious to say, and Mordechai Eliyahu, to say a Shehakol on a little bit of water before the meal, and have in mind the way you're going to have during the meal. Is that the minhag? Certainly it's not the minhag. But if you ever hear anyone that does such, now you can understand the background. So Lamaisa, just to summarize, we paskin that when you have water nowadays and any other drink, that comes along with the bread, and just like the bread covers the tuna fish and the children and everything else, it covers the water and the juice as well. That's what we hold as din. And since there are opinions that say really it doesn't cover the water because the water is not considered malafin sapas, thing that comes along with the bread, there are those that are stringent that would try to cover it, have a little bit of shako before the meal, a small amount of water or drink before to cover the drink during the meal, but it's mamash midat chasidut, it's a stringency. Essentially what the Arizal and the Kaf HaChaim did suggest, and Magen Avraham mentioned as well, but it's not din. Shalom.